Hello everybody, today I wanna explain you about gameplay ability system. If you want to create RPG or something similar to RPG game based on Unreal Engine 5 and you want to have some attributes like health, mana, stamina, armor, if you want to have some abilities, maybe fireball, maybe standard attack, regular attack, combat attack, you of course can create your own ability system from scratch. You are free to do it, but Unreal Engine already have a framework inside of Unreal which calls gameplay ability system, and you can use it for your purposes. So let me explain about this framework. So I have test project which I will use to show you and explain you about gameplay ability system. In this my project ability system is already implemented, so I can start my game. I can use fast run ability. I can attack. I have stamina. Right now you can see that my stamina is gone, so now it's regenerating. I can use some powerful combat attack. I can jump, and my jump is using my stamina. So also I have my enemy here. I can attack this enemy, and in left upper corner you can see how his health is going down. So let's start from start. How to install gameplay ability system plugin to Unreal Engine. In my case, I will use Unreal Engine 5. So first, let's go to Edit, Plugins, and let's find here ability system. In this case, I can find gameplay abilities. In my case, it's already activated, but in your case, you need to activate this checkbox. Okay, after you activated this plugin, you need to reopen your project, and inside of your Visual Studio Unreal Engine project, you will find this plugin activated in the .u project file. So here you can find gameplay abilities. To have access to all gameplay ability system functionality, you need to use C++ a bit, because maybe 50% functionality of gameplay ability system is implemented in the blueprints, but if you want to get whole gas functionality, you need to go it through C++. So first you will find it here, and then you need to go to your project name .build.cs file, and then you need to include gameplay tags, gameplay abilities, and gameplay. I'm not sure that you need gameplay tasks, but you need gameplay abilities and gameplay tags here. Actually, gameplay tags, it's a bit different system with instead of gameplay abilities, but usually it's using together, like gameplay tags, gameplay cues, and gameplay abilities. It's three systems which are usually using together. So okay, great. We have it implemented here, and now you are free to implement gameplay ability system component to your character. In my case, I have base character class here, and you can see that my base C++ character class is inherited from ability system interface. So after that you can see ability system component here, and virtual get ability system component method. The brain of ability system, it's ability system component. Usually we have one ability system component for your character. You can implement, usually most, I think in 99% of cases, we implementing ability system component in the character or in the player state. So it's two more useful, more common cases. Okay, so the brain of gameplay ability system is gameplay ability system component, and to implement this ability system component, you need to include it. You need to inherit from ability system interface. Then you need to create ability system component, actor component here, and you need to implement the getter for this gameplay ability system. After that, inside it is my header file, and inside of CPP file, you also need to create default sub object for ability system component. And after that, inside of Unreal, inside of your character, you can find in your child character class, you can find this ability system component right here. Okay, so first we will talk about ability system component, and I want to explain you everything you need to know about it as for first time. So let's find it. Of course, you can use default. As you can see, I using my own extended Slavian ability system component, but of course you can use default one. But I want to show you how you can extend standard functionality of ability system component, and it can be useful for you. So let's open ability system component, and in my case I extended by 2 arrays and 1 method. So it is 2 arrays default abilities and default effects, and initialize default abilities and effects method. You can, of course, you can create your own logic to give abilities and effects to your character, but if to be able to use your abilities in your character, you need to grant your abilities to your ability system component to your character. So you can create, of course, some trigger volume, some class which you can step into, and it will grant some ability for you, of course. But most easier method is create just default array of abilities, and you can add your abilities to your character. So let me show you. Let me open Unreal, and you can see here 2 arrays. It's default character abilities with next abilities. It's GA, jump, GA, it's gameplay abilities, sprint, defensive state, regular attack, mega attack, dodge, and combo attack. Also, we can find here effects with similar logic, but I will show you about gameplay abilities and gameplay effects a little bit later. So let's jump back to Visual Studio, and let's open C++. Let's open C++ file. In this case, we have initialize default abilities and effects method, and here you can see that it's just 2 for loops through these arrays, and we just use give ability method for each of abilities, and we also have apply gameplay effect spec to self to grant some effects for your character. So to you cannot just apply effect. You need first to create a spec for it, but it's technical. technical side. You just granting your effects for you. Okay. So, oh, sorry. Also, I looks like I forgot to show you that inside of my default character, you instead of create default sub-object on the possessed by method, you also need to call init ability actor info. It's you 100% need it. It needs to be ability system initialized, and also we calling our own method initialize default abilities and effects. Now it's called on the possessed by. If you developing a online network game, in some cases you can use not possessed by, but something like on rep player state method. But now this tutorial is I'm creating this tutorial for beginners, and it is not for online game. It's now it's for single player game. So great. Looks like we end with ability system component, and we can jump to attribute set. As I said at start, usually you need to have some attributes like run speed, health, maximum health, stamina, maximum stamina, mana, maximum mana, STR, DEX, con, etc. It can be 10, 20, 100 attributes in big games. So it is we call it gameplay attributes, and technically in gameplay ability system we calling it like attributes. Attributes, it have F gameplay attribute data structure. It is, but inside of F gameplay attribute data structure you have just float values. So it's just float value and attribute set. It is special entity which holds your attributes. It's very easy. So in my case, I have here run speed, defense, max health, maximum stamina, and stamina attributes. Also, inside of this class, you can define your replication logic, you can activate your replication logic, and also you can for example clamp your attributes. For example, of course you don't want to have your current health more than maximum health, and your maximum health cannot be less than 0, for example. So here we have list of specifics for special method like pre-attribute base change, pre-attribute change, post-attribute change, post-gameplay effect execute, and much more. It's not all. So, and here, for example, you can implement, for example, clamp attribute method for inside of pre-attribute base change and pre-attribute change, and here you can make if it's health attribute, you can clump it's between 0, your current health clump between 0 and maximum health, and also you can clump max health between 0, like you do not allow max health to drop below 1, and actually in general that's all you need to know about attribute sets. And these attribute sets you also need to implement inside of your character or some different place where you implement your ability system component, and actually you can have multiple attribute sets if you wish. Okay, so and also inside of CPP file you need to create default sub-object for attribute set. This I think that it's all for attribute sets, and next let's jump to gameplay ability. As I said before, of course, you can use a default gameplay ability class, but usually I extend logic of gameplay ability by my own logic. For example, I giving here ability name, ability icon, ability level, and and input ID for binding to input directly. I will tell you about it a little bit later. So it is base C++ class for gameplay ability, and then inside of your game, inside of your project, you can create a blueprint class based on your own gameplay ability, and usually we call it like GA. It's gameplay ability. Let me open it, and usually it's simple blueprint with logic, with my own extended logic, with tags. You can allow player to activate ability if it has some specific tags, or do not allow, and you can block, for example, to activate abilities if you have dead state, for example, etc. Oh, sorry, looks like I forgot to tell about it. Inside of CPP file, I already have dead state, and it's also my extended logic, like default for each ability. It's activating block tags if you dead. So if you dead, you cannot activate your ability. And inside of ability, you have event activate ability and event on end ability. So commit ability, what it is? It's method which activate cooldown for your ability and cost. I will tell about it a little bit later. So we commit if we have enough, if we have everything okay with cost and cooldown, we can activate ability. We also have specific play montage and wait method to play animation montage. In my case, I have here three animation montages for attack, and I getting randomly one of it, and after that we waiting for gameplay event. If you're interested about my logic, in each of these animation montages I have stop please. I have implemented here specific animation notify. We can open this animation notify. We getting a point in front of our character, and we overlap actors for front of our character. Let me show you again, and we have sphere, and this we getting actors of this sphere, and we send gameplay effect to our character back, and here we getting we waiting for gameplay event, and we apply gameplay effect attack to our enemy, and inside of gameplay effect we apply damage. But we will talk about gameplay effect I think right now. So let me end on the gameplay ability. So gameplay ability, its place when you play. Its place when you implement all your logic about your ability. Okay, so and let's next jump to gameplay effect. Gameplay effects, it's also class. Gameplay effect, it's also class which are using for to change your attributes inside of attribute change. If you want to heal yourself or heal your party member, or you want to apply damage or something like that, or you want to give ammo for your party member, or you want to restore mana, you using gameplay effects. It is also class which you can extend your own logic. In my case, I just added a name, icon, level, and show as buff or debuff in UI in my case. So let's jump to, for example, regular attack and GA regular attack. It's GA, it's gameplay effect. So here every gameplay effect can have its own duration policy. It can be instant, like blow, did something and that's all. For example, you apply the damage and that's all. It's like one moment and that's all. Infinity, it's like buff forever, so this effect will be applied for somebody and it will be applied until you manually cancel it. And has duration, it's like standard buff, for example, healing for 10 seconds, or add maximum walk speed for 2 minutes, something like that, like dash or something like that. And here, for example, in my case, in regular attack, I just add minus 15 for health. If you want to have your multiple calculation of damage, if you want to create your own specific complicated functions, like you want to get your attack, your defense, your health, your I don't know, critical attack power or something like that, and you want to calculate it, you also have a specific execution calculation method, which I think I will talk about it too. So now we're talking about gameplay effect. So here we have duration policy, and we can add, multiply, divide, override. It's everything you can do with your attributes. You also can set up stacks for effects. For example, if you want to stack your buffs, it's also possible from here. Or if you want to activate gameplay queue, or activate some visual effects, you also can do it from here. Okay, so I think it will be enough for standard gameplay effects. So gameplay effects is entity which applied for somebody and doing something with your or your enemy's attributes. Okay, great. Let me close everything. And okay, so next let's jump to cost. If you want, for example, if you want to implement same logic like I implemented, looks like I attacking and my stamina going down, yeah? And yes, and I have not enough stamina right now. if you want, for example, your attack to use your stamina, you can use default cost functionality which already implemented in gameplay ability system. Usually, for example, I have regular attack and I have GA regular attack cost. It's also gameplay effect. It must be instant gameplay effect which use my stamina, and that's all. And it's have cost name, and inside of gameplay ability GA attack, I defined this cost class as cost gameplay effect class. And if I commit my every time I commit my ability, it's using my cost class. So it's very simple. Next, let's jump to cooldown. Now I have not implemented cooldown here inside of my current project, but I can explain you that you also have cooldown gameplay effect class here. It also must be a gameplay effect class, but this gameplay class instant policy need to have has duration. And for example, if this class have 10 seconds duration, you will activate your attack and you will not able to use your ability until these 10 seconds gone. It's very similar, and it's very simple. Okay, so then let me show you about execution calculation class. Inside of gameplay effect, you can use, let me find, I think it is, you can use execution calculation here. I have it's implemented in my different projects, so it's not for beginner. I think it's a bit complicated, but let me show you, for example, how it works. So we have specific C++ class, it's gameplay effect execution calculation here. We have execute implementation, it's base logic, and here we have specific code which I will not explain right now because this video is for beginners, not for professionals. You can find information about it in technical documentation for gameplay ability system, but you can here get access for different attributes, and you can calculate some attack power based on different your parameters. Okay, so next I want to tell you about very useful tasks which you can use inside of gameplay abilities. For example, in my own async tasks which I use is next. So async task listen for new effects, allow you to show in UI new effects which applied for you. For example, if you have UI which show your buffs or debuffs, you can use it very simple with this code. So it's not complicated. You can implement it if you want. So also I using async task for listening to new abilities. Also it's useful for UI user interface if you want to show for player list of his abilities. Then async task handle effect events. It's stacks in my case, and also if you want to show in your buffs and debuffs menu stacks for your current effects, you also can use you also can implement it inside of this async logic. And maybe most useful, it's async task attribute change. It's async task for showing and updating your attributes values in UI. This async method, I also have the same method inside of my current project, and this code based on Tranek. I will tell you about Tranek guy a little bit later, but it's guy who have very nice documentation about gameplay ability system. But let me show you. Let me find it. Gameplay UI health bar. So yes. So this is this async node which getting a list of attributes as input parameters, and it fires every time these parameters is updated. But it's function created by Tranek, but in his case it's firing only after attribute changes. But in my case it's updating also first time you call this function. Like let me show you. It's not only I not remember where it is, but actually my code is fires first time after you call this function. And here you have logic. You check which attribute it is, and you can show it in UI. It's very useful, very powerful method. Okay, so I think now I explained you maybe 70% of gameplay ability system. If you beginner, if you started right now to learn gameplay ability system, you will not be able to handle every this information. So I think it's enough for start. And last thing I want to you explain about, it's about documentation. Instead of Unreal Engine technical documentation about gameplay ability system, you can use this internet page is github.com/tranek/guest documentation. It is this guy Tranek, which I told you about before. It's guy which created, I think, most powerful documentation for gameplay ability system. You can find everything about it if you want to set up your project, attribute definition, gameplay effect modifiers, cost. You can find information about everything right here. I very recommend you to use this page. Also, I can recommend you inside of Discord channel. You can join Unreal Slackers, and inside of Unreal Slackers you can open gameplay ability system chat. It's a very active chat. If you have some questions about gameplay ability system, you can ask it here, and this guy I think will help you fast. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.